Okay, namaste. This is on record now. Go ahead. Ask.
So the inner voice, or the still small voice, or the antaratma we call, right? You said it is, I am practicing and trying to hear my antaratma. I call it intuition also. People call it as intuition, right? So is there any Veda in the Sanskrit? There is a way we can harness more. How do we converse with the inner voice, the antaratma? And how do we download ideas for my creative power, right? It's a creative power, it says, right? You create something out of that. Even Edison utilized that in a different way. Einstein used it in a different way. And many achievers, the guy who did a research for 50 very accomplished people around the world, and he wrote a very good book in 1930s. Okay. And I read and I was like very intrigued by the simplicity he put it in a words, and that is practiced as a business in modern world today. Okay, because I have become a coach. Part of that coaching, we teach people how to harness that power within you. So is there anything already there in Sanskrit or Vedas?
Yeah, continue.
So my question is, what is the best way? Veda says, what is the best way to harness our own power?
Yes. So like I mentioned during the Q&A session, the method is Ashtanga Yoga.
Ashtanga Yoga.
Yeah. See. Probably I'll have to give it. I was waiting for others to join in newcomers. I'll try to give a very quick recap. We've been talking about for, like I said, a couple of years, more than that. So everything, I would say, would start with the question which you asked. That's what everybody would say. All that is fine. We know that Vedic literature is huge. There are 4 Vedas, 18 major Puranas. There are 2 Itihasas. There are hundreds of other books. The commentary, Dvaita, Advaita. So many different things. Vivekananda is there. Jaggi Vasudev is there. There are n number of things. Okay. What do we do with all those things? Ultimate analysis of reading one or all of them, even if I'm able to. What I do is the only thing it can help the progress.
Lead your own life, right? It's leading your own life.
You have to, like even Vedas themselves in Upanishad, one of the Upanishad says, knowing is not being. You may read 100 books and know how to be a king. It doesn't make you a king. You have to be a king. That's the only way you can be a king. Likewise, what is the method? Again, what they've done is they've defined multiple methods. Okay, multiple methods through which you can attain this. Okay, they say Bhakti Marga is one, Karma using duty is one thing, doing all kind of homas, fire worship is another thing. Like that, many things are told. Yoga is one. Essentially, it boils down to this. It's a framework. In that framework, the toolbox is there. You can pick up whatever you want in the toolbox. That's the way I would like to define. Ashtanga Yoga is the framework. Okay, what does it do, Ashtanga Yoga? It says 8 steps. That's why it's called Ashtanga. 8 steps. It basically tells you, if you want to understand, recognize, see, and Ishwara in your own heart, listen to him and follow. First thing you need to do, you must have right attitude and a right behavior. So it tells you yama niyama, steps there. Yama niyama, it helps you to build a right attitude and right behavior. Then you should start to listen, like you said. That book is there, this book is there, what does it mean? Ask questions, etc. Therefore, you have to go through trying to hear about it, talk about it, think about it, and start practicing. But the fundamental position here is that Ishvara is in your heart, but you're not able to see. That is the problem. You can go to the temple and see the idol, but many of us do that, right? You travel one day, we have to go to Tirupati, Venkatachalapati and all that. We travel 9,000 miles to India, go to Andhra, go to the 7 hills and see the idol and come back. But we are not able to see the Ishvara in your own heart. You don't have to travel even 1 inch. That is the conundrum. Therefore, How do we do that is a question. If Ishvara is inside you, you should be able to see. In which case, everything is your body centric to start with. That's why, again, Vedic statement is there. Deho Devalaya. Body is the real temple. That means with this body which you have to get to say Ishvara in your heart. That means the body has to be healthy. Not only good attitude and behavior, you must have health also. We do not really give so much importance, but if you are unhealthy, you can't do anything.
Mhm.
If you have severe chronic stomach pain or whatever pain, you won't be able to focus. Because just like I was reading in the Q&A session, Nivritta Buddhi Avastena is the starting point. Transcending the intellectual mental model which you have got. That means the entire fight is happening inside you, not outside.
Yep.
And entire effort is inside you, not outside. If your body is weak, you won't do the fight. You want to lie down and sleep or take tablets and sleep. That's all you want to do. If a healthy body is important. How do you get a healthy body? Use the body to build a healthy body. That's again the same technique. The whole idea is that you don't need anything other than yourself to attain this. Why is that? Because if I say you got to go to a gym, go for 6 months, you go to a gym and they charge $500 a month, $3,000, you don't have. Very few people can afford that. Here it's not like that. You need only yourself and your dedication, nothing else. It has been made so easy that you don't need anything other than yourself. The another advantage is that if you're a member of a gym club, if you're traveling, you can't go there because you are not a member on the everywhere, no, only one place. But here you take your body everywhere. That means this method is available anywhere, everywhere, anytime. You need nothing other than yourself. As simple as that. Therefore, your body, yoga becomes very important. Yoga builds your body. For doing yoga, you don't need anything else, yourself. Only yourself is needed. Then, this healthy body, you are able to sit comfortably in a Padmasana or a Siddhasana or any asana, and then completely try to focus inside your heart, eliminating any other thoughts. Why? Once again, Duri Bhutanya Darshanaha, Bhagavatam says, you are able to eliminate every other external concepts. Everything external to you, you have to eliminate, sublimate rather. That means you must focus internally. That is a concentration. Then, concentration is elimination of any other thought excepting one. Which one is the next question. There again is made very easy, saying it's up to you. What do you like? You like a sound? You like a form? You like a human form? Man form? Woman form? You like Krishna type of form? Shiva type of form? Because we are all born with bias framework already built in. The child which is born with certain biases. Because in Indian thought processes, your birth in this body is not something new. It's a continuity of whatever has happened over the last so many hundreds and thousands of years. Now you are called Kajan Gowda and you look like this. Next time we don't know what you're going to be. But the essence of what you inside will travel and occupy a different body, different name, a different place, etc. Therefore, you're born with certain biases. So that bias has to be negated. But that bias cannot be negated just like the Abhinishya, it cannot be. That bias we make use of by saying, okay, because you're born like this, because you like Alankara Purusha, well-decorated personality is what you like, use Vishnu or Krishna as a thought and image. So concentration is elimination of everything other than one. Dhyana is the next which answers which one. When you do this, then you want to calm the mind. But what happens when you sit and do it? Your mind thinks about Krishna. You chose Krishna. You think about Krishna or you see Krishna for a minute, for a microsecond. It goes away and next minute, your mind jumps into all kind of thoughts. The problem you're having at home, or in India, or a business, you're not able to sustain this thought process of Krishna for more than a millisecond. That means you have to quieten the mind. If you quieten the mind, that means other thoughts are eliminated. A quiet mind, you're able to position this Krishna image much longer than a few milliseconds. Then they discovered there is a connection between the disturbance in the mind, thoughts in the mind, and breathing. Therefore, they invented pranayama technique. That several pranayama techniques are there. Following those techniques, one of those techniques, you can calm the mind, eliminate other thoughts, position only one thought, Krishna image or a thought in that, and start observing that. And there is a technicality is there. If you're able to observe the thought or observe the Krishna image for X number of minutes, it is deemed to be samadhi anubhava, where your entire concentration, entire thought process, entire intellect, inner awareness, inner focus, everything is only on that. Nothing else is there. That method, once you reach the samadhi avastha, as it is called, it starts helping you see the Ishvara in your heart. But once you start seeing the Ishvara in your heart, automatically, because it's like a muscle memory. You keep on doing it multiple times, then you know, even in your normal state, when you're not sitting and doing dhyana, even when you're in a meeting, etc., if your inner voice says, okay, your client is saying certain things, you're agreeing to it, don't do it. That is not the right way to do things. You listen, even though you're suited, booted, sipping coffee, maybe a glass of beer, you still listen to your inner voice because it tells you, by that time you've developed the ability to hear, listen, accept, and implement the inner voice. That is the journey. That's what Ashtanga Yoga teaches. But like I said, in Bhagavatam also advanced Ashtanga Yoga comes. In Patanjali also written Ashtanga Yoga method. The difference being how you treat Ishvara. In Bhagavata, Ishvara is treated as a person. Like brother, elder brother, uncle, aunt, or whatever. Whom you love, you can worship, you can decorate, you can write poems on, sing, etc., etc. Play music too. Whereas Patanjali treats it merely as an idea. Because different people have different approaches. But the essence is same. Ishvara is a question which Naveen asked. There's nothing to do with Kali Kala. What is different in this age, Kali Kala era is there's certain techniques which are impossible to do now. For example, we have our own practices, right? For example, me, if you take, so we have hi Shruti, welcome to the group. Hello, I think you're muted. Okay. Also, if you're hearing me, if possible, please switch on your camera. So in this age, for example, our thing is that there are certain karmas which I have to do. As my community, I have to do, which is not possible to do here nowadays. Anywhere, even in India, it's difficult to do. So Agni Karyas are there, certain other Karyas are there, which is impossible to do. And now in America, it's just not possible because the ritual requires taking cold water bath and having a special dress, sitting on all those things not possible here, right? So therefore, there's certain activities, certain homas, yajnas, those kind of Ashwamedha Yaga, for example, with many kings used to do once upon a time. It's no longer possible. Hi Shruti, how are you? You're muted.
I'm unable. Sorry, I was just unable to unmute the mic. My settings were not set. I'm so sorry.
Okay, so welcome to the group. So
Thank you.
We're having a conversation. I'll finish that and I'll give you an opportunity to introduce yourself. Therefore, it is a wrong notion to say that we cannot see God. It has nothing to do with this Kali Yuga. You cannot do certain things. That's why they say In the good yuga, dharma used to stand on 4 legs, right? But in this Kali Yuga, it stands only 1 leg, they say, daya. Being compassionate is the only leg on which dharma stands on, because everything else we have made it very difficult to follow. Government has put a lot of rules which will not allow me to do certain things. Therefore, but then being compassionate to others, nobody can snatch away that right. But that is only with respect to practices of dharma. But you definitely can see Ishvara anytime. In the past, good yuga, bad yuga, future yuga, anytime. And it's wrong to think that only Swamijis can see Ishvara. No, you can see, I can see. Like I tell many times, the only difference is, if you commit to become a Swamiji, it gives you an opportunity to devote your entire life for that activity. Right? As regular people, it's very difficult to 24/7 do that. Because 1 hour per week itself is so difficult for us because we have other things to do. That's the only difference. Many, many times I have seen in my life, I have more than 40, 50 years I'm in this journey. Many, many times I have seen people who are very grandmothers and grandfathers, kids, etc., have been pointed out by my guru would say that these are Rene soul. They are superior to us, like that they are told. So that is what I was telling in this Bhagavata 23.27.10, where we said that Nivrita Buddhi Avastena Duri Bhutanya Darshanaha, right? Breaking all your notions about what life is. That's very important. So, Naveen, you can see, right now you can see Ishvara. And the method, Kajan, is Ashtanga Yoga, which is standard for everybody. Like I said, it is a framework. Therefore, the steps are certain steps are common. Yama, niyama, developing a good attitude, good behavior, doing yoga, doing this pranayama, right? Dharana, concentration, dhyana. This is standard. It does not matter. Anybody can do. Where it differ is, okay, you want to do dhyana, meditation on who? On what? There are people who, because of the biases and gunas which they carry at the birth level, some people may like to see a form. Some people don't want a form. They like a sound. Buddhists focus on sound. And there are Vipassana techniques where you trace your thought. Ramana Maharishi said, trace your thought. Nothing else is necessary. You get thought. Where is the origin of the thought? Why is it coming? That was his technique. During the dhyana practice only, there will be variation depending upon what you are born with, where you are born with, which family, the deities, what personal likes, dislikes, biases, gunas, so on and so forth. Again, samadhi is same. One of the 8 is where difference will take place. Post samadhi is same again, because once the samadhi anubhava comes and you become a stable samadhi anubhava, like I said, you can hear Ishvara telling you what to do and what to do, not to do 24/7. Very easy. Only thing is, I'm sorry?
Just one question there.
Yes, please.
So why can't we consider that's the intellect which is telling instead of Ishvara? There is a possibility, right? Intellect is something that is telling.
What you mean intellect may be confusing is what you're saying, correct?
Intellect is telling that one because, for example, a kid, he doesn't know what is right, what is wrong. He just knows what he knows, he does. But after some years, once he was knowing the truth, then he will not do that mistake. That means at that time, his intellect was not good. He did not have knowledge. And then when he get the knowledge, then, so that where is the God you are saying that? In that case, there is no God, only intellect is there.
Good point. This is the problem of an intellect. The intellect, if you deeply analyze, the power of intellect is actually not only to give clarity, it has the power to deceive you also. That is the power of intellect. It can kind of, yes, Miriam.
Yes, I would like to say something about this. So Krishnamacharya taught that when someone practices yoga, asana practice, without practicing yama, and yama is not a yoga. It's not a yoga practice. And I read this, even though Krishnamacharya made a lot of comments on Hatha Yoga Pradipika and doesn't agree with Hatha Yoga Pradipika because it doesn't start with the Yama Niyama. And maybe for the children also, just that's what a person has to teach. I don't know. Sorry.
Yeah, I mean, that's true in the sense that if you're treating yoga as merely bodybuilding, that's not Ashtanga Yoga. That's why you want Ashtanga Yoga, not just yoga. All the 8 steps have to be used. Pranayama, Yogasana is only 2 steps. That's not enough. That's only bodybuilding. After building body, what do you do? Bring a healthy body. What do you do with the body is the question. Here, our quest is not getting just a healthy body. Our quest is to see the Ishvara in our heart. That is the quest. Therefore, Yama, Niyama, etc. is necessary. Anyway, I will discuss the comment about Patanjali, this Hatha Yoga Pradipika by Krishnamacharya, what you mentioned, probably in the next session, because that requires elaborate discussion. At this moment, we'll park it for the next session. Therefore, the point is, again, fortuitously, we have taken on to 3.27.10. Nivrta buddhi avastena duri buddha nidashanaha upalabdha aman atmanam chakshuse varka mahatma atma driki. This is the point, ultimately transcending the conditioning by the intellect, transcending the conditioning by our own likes and dislikes, biases. The power of guna imbalance, sattva, rajas, tamasa gunas, we got and sublimating our own notions of everything else in the world. If you do all those things, automatically chakshushe varkam atma driki. Just like you're seeing the sun, you can see yourself. That is the Ishvara. Coming back to your question about intellect versus why can't it be intellect telling you? Intellect has the power to clarify as well as confuse. It is pretty neutral. For the intellect, it's a possibility it throws at you. There is no subjective judgment on that or objective judgment. It throws a possibility. The mind can get confused very easily. That's why they say it's very strange, paradoxical statement. The statement is only intelligent can be stupid. Yeah? That's the statement. In which case, you do not know whether intellect is playing a trick with you or honestly telling you to do the right thing. The way to find out is you are alone, there's no witness, and the inner voice tells you don't do it. You do it. Then after that, are you able to feel bad about it? Or it doesn't mean anything at all. If intellect was telling you, yes, Naveen,
maybe I should use another word.
Okay.
Whatever the knowledge we have, whatever you call intellect or something, maybe I call something, some X factor. It will tell you only if it knows. If it doesn't know, it won't tell you anything. Now I'm having confusion with like Ishvara and then whatever that X. X is the one which will, if it has knowledge, then only it will tell, okay, do. For example, let's take a fire. He is blank, nothing, right? Will that Ishvara will tell, okay, don't touch it. It won't tell touch it or don't touch it. X factor, if it previously touched it, it burnt it, then it will tell, okay, don't touch it. If it doesn't touch it, it also does. In that case, do you think Ishvara will tell like, okay, inner voice will tell like, don't touch it, it's going to burn you? It won't tell.
Okay. No. Here is the thing. I mean, this requires again very detailed conversation. You're juxtaposing 2 different situations. One, where in the beginning of the journey, where you are not connected with your Ishvara. At that time, you don't even hear the inner voice. Please remember this. And then you're comparing with the situation where the end state, where you're able to hear the inner voice, then you get confused. Is it the inner voice or is it intellect telling? If you take the case of beginners who are not even recognizing there is inner voice and which is Ishvara, you just go by mind, not even intellect. For example, child you take. The knowledge, understanding, etc., it has to develop, right? You take a small child, it does not even know that fire will burn. So it is driven at that time not by the intellect. Partially, yes. What is that? See, you are collapsing everything, that's why you're getting confused. From the child point of view, which does not know that fire will burn, It is not the fire which is touching, it is trying to touch. It wants to keep busy. Intellect tells you got free time, do something. Oh, there's something bright here, go and touch it. That's all. It does not know it is fire, intellect at that point in time. Therefore, at that point in time, it's merely an activity. Children can never be quiet. Oh, your free time, go and touch that. Or the mind is working. It is so bright, I want it. A child does not know, for example, we all face this at a younger age. I am old now, but I was at your age one point in time. My children would never know whether we can afford or we cannot afford. It keep on saying, I want it, I want it. I only know that I have a budget, I don't have money. So I have to say something to completely distract the child. Because the child does not. It only knows driven by mind, I want it. That's why we say, when adults say, keep on saying that, we say it's childish behavior. I want it, I want it. So that's the way to look at it. It is not about intellect or mind or inner voice in the child state. The child state, no knowledge, no experience, it's driven only by activity, driven by its desires. When it touches the fire only, it will come to know what happens. But we do not know the age of the child. We do not know whether the child age is such that the brain is sufficiently developed. It can record that if you touch a fire, it's going to hurt you.
Can
And
I
then
stop with one question? No,
Yes.
it's not about child or anything. I just took an example. Even the older person, for example, me, I never know what is fire. I took an example which we don't know. Something which don't know. Okay. Even I do all this Ashtanga Yoga, whatever it is. Okay. Will my inner Ishvara will tell inside, don't touch it, that's gonna cause you something, or it won't tell. It is
Okay.
all depends on our knowledge. That's what I'm trying to say. The knowledge, if you gain it, you can use it. Otherwise, you won't use it. In this case, how Ishvara will tell go or no go, or bad, not bad. That's
Okay.
what I'm trying to say. I'm trying to understand.
Okay, let's take to that your change reference frame we will take. We are dealing with two things. One is adhyatmika and adhibhautika. That is physical as well as dharmic. Ishvara's realm is in dharma, doing the right thing in right, given a context, what is right or wrong. Adhibhautika is the physical thing, prakriti thing, natural thing. That will happen willy-nilly. You don't need Ishvara to tell you that when you're an adult, for example, you don't need Ishvara to tell you don't touch the fire. You may try something new, like bungee jumping, which you have not done before. You don't have an experience, etc. But as an adult, you process the information that others are jumping. You see all around, others are jumping, and nobody is dead. Therefore, you can try. But even then, you may have somebody internally may say, but I suffer from huge BP, I should not try what others are trying. But these are all physical activities. When we talk about inner voice Ishvara telling, it pertains to the realm of dharma.
Okay.
Given a context.
Can I
Yes.
add one similar
Yeah.
statement?
Yes, please.
Because his question is, how do I differentiate between my ego, intellect, or buddhi, right? That is what his question. How do I know my antaratma is telling or intellect is telling? So what I learned over last few years is your antaratma is never frantic. It is not in a hurry. Okay. The intelligence come beyond your intelligence. That means sometimes you get a hunch or a flash. You don't even have a, for example, I remember long time back, I was walking on my field. Suddenly I got some uneasiness. Okay. I did not understand why I felt it, because I realized after that I saw a big cobra passing by me. Even it was not there, but I could sense some discomfort, that hunch in our tummy, right? Those are the feelings come through Ishvara. That is what I believe we are discussing here.
Possible, yes. Yes. Milen, you wanted to say something?
Yes, Mr. Rao, I think very few people actually have inner voice, and it's very difficult to develop inner voice. And I think to simplify everything would be maybe just ahimsa. I try to, whatever I think and whatever I do, I try not to hurt another person with my actions, and also not to hurt myself. So I think whatever, because life gets so complicated, and we have to, we have very complicated relationships and decision making and work and all of that. Just what I do, not to hurt another person with my decisions, and not to hurt myself above all. So maybe it's just that simple. What do you think?
Yeah, you're right in a way. But what we need to bear in mind is that everybody is endowed with this inner voice. If you're alive, if any kind of living being, Ishvara lives in you. It's given.
Oh, yeah, of course, Mr. Rao, but not every person can, has an awareness of the inner voice.
Right, that is right. That is very correct. Everybody does not have an awareness for various reasons. That is why this framework, Ashtanga Yoga framework, and so many Dharma texts are there to tell anybody who is willing to try. This is open for anybody and everybody. It's free. You want to try that? Try it. Build the right 8 steps.
I think sometimes it is there already. It's like a memory, right? It's like our own senses we have. It is there. Only thing is, are you ready to listen and take?
Correct. There's a saying in various Vedic texts that are saying that Ishvara Anugraha, the blessing of Ishvara, is all the time available for everybody, 24/7. You don't know to take it. So it's not that you're going to get something new. Why? Because Narayana, like I said, that Narayana Sutta tells you he lives here, not external to you. So he's always with you. This is what I was trying to say. When I tell my classmates with whom I studied how many years back, 45 years back, in Chennai, in engineering college, I tell them this thing, they say you're a mad guy. You're a Sanghi, they say, you're a crazy Sanghi, RSS, and all kind of things. They don't want even to talk this. They think it's a very stupid belief. So what can I do? And if I tell them, like you asked this question, Navi, can we see? Of course. When I say you can see, then they ask, have you seen? When I say, of course I have seen, they say, oh my God, this is another crazy guy. He claims to have seen God. What can I say? Therefore, that is where the Kalikala is. Not only that, we know even when Krishna was walking around, he had his own enemies were there, right? His uncle himself tried to kill him. Therefore, it's all the time. It's nothing to do with yoga. In every era, there will be people who believe these things. There will be vast majority of people who don't care condition either way, and there will be some section of people who will not believe this. It's going to be there. Our thing is not with others. That's the most important. Look at this. Again, I want to draw attention to 3.27.10. Duri bhutanya darshanaha. Take everything away. It does not matter whether 90% people believe you or not, or 9% people believe. Nobody needs to believe what you believe. That's also okay. Again, they will come and criticize, oh, that's called hallucination. It's okay. Very simple. To connecting back to your question on hallucination point, the answer is same. The only way is you can find out. If intellect tells you and justifies, and you continue to do it, you get into severe trouble. Or the inner voice tells you, you feel bad about it, correct it, the result will tell you. That's what I tell people. Yeah, I may be hallucinating. True. The only way to find out is the people who get into drugs and hallucinations, etc., what happens to them over a 10-year period? Do they get better or do they get worse? What happens to me? The beauty of this is if you start having dialogue with your own Ishvara, personal Ishvara in your heart, you will soon realize you can understand anything very easily. New knowledge, new things keep on happening in the world. It's very easy to understand. You can even understand people even before they say the full statement. You don't have to prepare. The answer will come to you. Because the concept of Ishvara is that Patanjali Yoga Sutra also says same thing. Shrimad Bhagavatam also says same. The Ishvara principle is the one with infinite intelligence. In which case, it can tell you the answer for anything. Right? People make fun of this guy, Srinivasa Ramanujam, mathematician. People are still trying to figure out his formulas, etc. in very big universities in the world. He used to say, I get these things from my goddess. She gives me. People said he's gone nuts. But they're still trying to figure out the equations. Okay, I'll have a small logical stop and let Shruti introduce herself, and then we'll give her some time.
Hi everybody, I'm Shruti, and I live here in Celebrations next to Paddy Sir's. I'm not next to, actually, in some other building. And so my kid comes to his wife's drawing class and art class and math class. And that is how, from Rashmi and Jayanti ma'am, I came to know about Paddy Sir's discussion classes. And therefore I was interested to join them.
Welcome. Anything
Yeah.
else you can say?
No, nothing as of now. Yeah,
Okay.
and Rashmi here introduced me
Okay.
to you.
Okay. Excellent. So here is the thing. I'll give you we've been talking, particularly Meral and I have been talking for years, and with others for last 2 years or so, or more than that. So roughly, I will tell you, this is what we try to do in these conversations. I'm not pushing any religion, any God, any method. I will not do that. I just share my experience, my thought. There are certain books which are standard, particularly coming from India, like Vedas, Upanishads, Bhagavata, etc. We discuss, keeping that, we discuss point by point. You're free to follow whatever your family method is, or your personal preference in terms of guru or whatever. There's no compulsion to follow what I say. There's no need to agree to whatever I say. It is not a lecture. I don't like to give lectures. I will say certain things and leave it open. All of you should actually, not can, you should come back and comment, add, modify, accept, etc. Whatever, doesn't matter to me. What is important is whatever we discuss, we try to implement and see. Okay. Since he said that Ishvara, you should be able to see and follow Ashtanga Yoga, next step should be for you to find out what is this Ashtanga Yoga. Can I do that? Then we say, okay, right attitude is important. Then you say, what is the right attitude? Can I develop it? This implementing what we try to discuss and learn is very important. Setting realistic goals is important. It is going to take years and years. You're a young person. It may take decades of to practice to get somewhere. You should be willing to commit that. You don't have to be consistent. As a young person, your life will take you zigzag all over as children grow, etc. It's very difficult to be consistent. Not necessary. As Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, even one day you do something, that benefit will follow you. Keep trying. That's the only commitment I need from you, is you keep trying. Whatever you want to do, keep trying. We share our opinion. That is pretty light that way. And yeah. Yes, Rashmi, you want to say anything?
Yeah.
Hello, everyone. I'm nothing as of now, Paddy Uncle. I'm, thanks for this lecture. I'm still processing it. If I have any questions, I'll definitely come up. Thank you.
Sorry, guys, I've not been very regular myself because, like I was telling Naveen in the Q&A session, of late my India travel has increased. My business takes me almost every other month to India, 2-3 times. So I go every other month I go virtually. The age is catching up. Therefore, jet lag is getting me like crazy. When I come back 3 o'clock, I just cannot keep my eyes open. It takes several days nowadays. Once upon a time, same day I used to travel, go to meetings, etc. Either side. Today it is not possible, and sorry about that. My wife is pretty critical about that. She says that it's a serious responsibility. You have to do at least once a month session. Whether you are in India or wherever you are, you have to find time. You have to find ability to do it, is our recommendation. So I will try to, occasionally I listen to her, so I try to follow this. All right. Okay. So you will catch up. Don't worry. It can look abrupt here, but maybe next time what I will do is, hopefully the other lady also would join. Suddenly I schedule, she joined, and she's a psychiatrist, so practicing psychiatrist She could not, she has a client now, she could not join. Hopefully next time she is able to join, I'll give some kind of recap. Irrespective of, we started talking about Veda Upanishads long time back and Bhagavad Gita and all the stuff. We didn't go into detail, but roughly explain how it all comes down to. What is knowledge repository? Vedic knowledge is the knowledge. There is nothing which is not told in Vedas and nothing which can be told outside the Vedas. That powerful it is. It is not connected with any specific individual. That's why we call it as unoriginated, no author, specific author. And it is valid for anybody, everybody, anytime in the world. Obviously, we can't follow everything. Whatever little follow, we can do that. The Vedic knowledge is taken at a concept level. It is split in two parts. One is intellectual analysis and awareness. Other is action-oriented. You can approach things two different ways. The intellectual conceptualizations, etc., it's all in Upanishads. It talks about a lot of things. Fundamentally, whatever we discuss, what is life, what is this world, is it real, unreal, is there really a God? These kind of things it talks about. Then, action is, okay, all the knowledge is there, but what do you do next? Then there are actions. You could use fire worship, homas, havans they call, or you can use devotion, bhakti they call, or you can use just what is called as a nishkamya karma, where you do not have any specific objective result for yourself. Still you act. That's called nishkamya karma. Likewise, the action-oriented two different varieties are given so that we really understand the essence of Vedic knowledge. This is a rough introduction, but detail I'll probably, when that lady also joins, I will give a formal recap of everything we have discussed. Several texts are there, 4 Vedas are there, the multiple 108 Upanishads are there, but 10 are primary. There are 18 Puranas, there are 2 Itihasas, and there are hundreds of commentaries on all these things. They're all there. Then the standpoint is also, there are Shat Darshanas, as they say. The 6 different viewpoints are there. What they are, what is the relevance, I'll explain this when the other day. Probably I'll devote the entire session for recap. And a few months back, we started discussing Bhagavata. I had 2 sessions. In one session, I was discussing Shrimad Bhagavata, other which is about Krishna's, Vishnu's life, and etc. And other one was Patanjali Yoga Sutra. The 2 different sessions were there. Miral and she had another friend of hers. Both of them are they're very humble. They won't say that they are all well into this yoga. They teach yoga for others, etc. So we are doing that. It's coalescing because in Bhagavata, a lot of other things are there. Origin of the universe, people's life, and then it talks about Ashtanga Yoga. Then I merge these 2 things because both are talking about the same thing. That's why we're having a combined class here. This is roughly it is. So it's already 5:20, 6:52. I think Miral has a class. She's going to teach at 7 o'clock. Every Sunday she has to go. Am I right, Miral?
Yes, thank you. Thank you so much.
So, Paddy, I want to
One second. Let me tell one thing to Miral, then I'll leave it to you. Miral, did you notice there's a the screen behind me? There's a lady there.
Yes, I do.
Okay. Miral has always asked, a long time back, asked the question, why is it that all gurus and everybody is male? Why not female? I said there are. I mean, historically, in Vedic times also, the Rishikas have been there. So I will try to bring, we don't have photo of those people. No, imaginary portraits are there. I said I will bring every time one lady. This, what you say here is, she's called Rishika, Lady Rishi, Vachanakvi. She is the person, if you go into those Upanishads, you'll find out that she was equivalent to Yajnavalkya. Yajnavalkya is the most intellectual Rishi you can see in Vedas. He is always interested in debates and things like that. And the Rishika Vachanakvi, the Lady Rishi, was equal to him in debating with him. So I have brought her for your sake, Miral.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, Kajan, go ahead.
So I feel this is sacred union because the meeting was unagended, right? There is no agenda. The way Naveen started questioning and it led you to answer few things. Then I was seeking for answer. I got my answers and connected back. So it is even, this is all orchestrated beyond our intellect.
Correct, correct.
That is what I can say, because Navin's question was, how do I differentiate, right? So because I got my answers, explanation from you, so beautifully done.
Thank you. This is what it is. We are all actors in this game. We are not controlling this. Ishvara is controlling this. You will see that randomly certain things will come, randomly answers will come, right? So that's what it's going to be. Yeah. Now we have a few minutes only. So all of you can take turn to say anything, concluding points, and then at 7 o'clock we'll close. Naveen?
I'm good. No questions.
Okay, Rashmi?
I'm good, Paddy uncle. No questions. Thank you.
Okay, Shruti?
Questions for now. Thank you.
Okay. All right, let me first stop the recording.